Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the summit. Now, the month of March has already kicked in, and this is the month that we celebrate internationally the woman and the girl, and we're going to be celebrating it in all sorts of ways. But this episode is more of a curtain raiser for International Women's Day taking place this weekend, namely Sunday. Now, this year's theme calls us to accelerate progress towards rights, equality, and empowerment for all women and girls. But beyond the slogans and what we see on social media, what does empowerment truly look like in practical terms? And who is shaping it? Who is living it in today's world? And that is what we're here to discuss today with three phenomenal women that you are about to meet. Joining me here tonight as we dive into this very timely conversation. Now, I will start at my far left. She is Imfura Paradis Nishimwe. She's an award-winning founder, creative entrepreneur, investor, and philanthropist. And at just the age of 22, she founded Wood Habitat, a company that has grown into a brand recognized beyond Rwanda. Thank you for joining us here, Paradis.
Thank you, Martine.
Yes, thank you for being here. And we also have with us Bukuru, producing and performing artist. She is one whose sound spans traditional and classic soul, blending heritage and contemporary expression. Through music, she not only entertains but communicates identity, culture, and a lived experience. Thank you for being here, Bukuru.
It's an absolute honor. Thank you.
Yes, and last but not least, we have Peace Miza, who is a mother, an entrepreneur, and the host of Mind Over Matter, a podcast that amplifies women's voices, particularly those navigating motherhood, leadership, resilience, and personal growth with intentionality. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so like I mentioned, this episode is dedicated to all the women, to all the girls. We see you, we are you, and we want to continue to empower you. And we do this through different ways, but tonight we're going to be amplifying voices, hearing the different stories of these women joining us here today, and how they did what they did and how they continue to do what they do. So I'll start off with you, Paradis. You are the founder of Wood Habitat. First of all, tell us about what the Wood Habitat stands for, what it is, and what you set out to achieve through this entrepreneurial journey of yours.
Wow. So Wood Habitat is beyond a brand, it's beyond a company to me. It's a life that I started 10 years ago, just as a young girl at 21. And you know, by so much grace and so much help, we are a brand that is recognized for creating furniture for living and loving. So we've been furnishing schools, international schools in Rwanda and outside Rwanda, 5-star hotels, homes, and residential projects. But beyond furniture, what Wood Habitat is really here for is to build a legacy that really honors humanity and amplifies African creative power through my design philosophy. Design is dignity.
I was about to ask you about that. Yeah, that's a design philosophy that you live by. Design is dignity. Now, in the context of Women's Month, which is what March is all about, what does dignity mean for women today?
I'm so safe to express dignity in Kinyarwanda. So dignity in Kinyarwanda is kwisobanukirwa. And it's recognizing one's value or self-worth. And design is dignity. To me, it's not a philosophy. It's really, really, really the essence of why I create and what we create at Wood Habitat. Because, you know, at 21, you just start a business out of passion, and then with the help of mentors and coaches and education, it becomes an actual successful business that not only represents a certain group of people, which is its employees, but also represents and stands for the country, and beyond the country to even represent Africa as a continent. So my vision for Wood Habitat grew from just a hobby and passion and to an African purpose. So design is dignity. I do believe that dignity is recognizing that every object, every piece of music, every podcast, every voice that, because I listen to Peace a lot, I love Bukuru and her music. Even you yourself, Martina, you are such a powerful voice. So I see a lot of dignity in what you're doing, in what all of us are doing, because whatever we create is really amplifying and nurturing the human worth and the human value. It really, like for example, if you start with wood habitat, every piece of furniture we create, every piece of interior design, every piece of service, it's really to just allow people to flourish and tap into their highest potential. That's it.
And that is very important. Thank you so much for sharing that. And over to you, Bukuru. You are an artist, you are a singer, but most importantly, you are a female. Now, not to put you in a box and categorize you as a female artist, but that is the beauty of it all, the fact that you get to embrace your femininity through your music and you get to impact people. So what does it mean to you to be a female artist in today's world in regards to seeing how women have truly evolved, especially here in Rwanda, because women are given such a platform that we don't take for granted. It was not always the case, but it is now. So as a female artist, what does it mean to you?
Well, first of all, in our generation, it's a privilege to be recognized, acknowledged as one of the artists, up and coming, or maybe just rising stars.
You are there. You are there.
It's an amazing time to be acknowledged, but also it's an opportunity to share my color, because you know, with everything that's going around the world, being able to live, just like she said, doing a career or doing something that leaves a legacy, being able to leave a legacy and to be remembered as someone who's actually contributed positively to the community, leaving the world better than you came in doing. But I don't know how to say it's a privilege, it's an amazing time. For me, I take it as a personal thrill, but it's also a pride of my family, my friends, every single person who looks up to me, and then the country, because I get to represent my country and every single person that I came from or I represent, because the way I carry myself will tell their story. Because I have the platform, I have the light, so I get to share that. So it's a privilege.
Thank you very much for that depiction. Now, I did speak of how it wasn't always the case that women felt safe in these spaces or had the opportunity to rise and shine. Through your art, through your music, how do you challenge these stereotypes that are put on women, or how do you use your music, your art to elevate women's narrative?
Part of sharing my color is showing people that it's possible, first of all, and second, music is a powerful expression of self, of perspective, of everything, and it's easy. People get to listen. I can easily influence a person through music than through a speech, especially in our generation now that has so little of an attention span. So it's an amazing thing that I'm able to carry such a message. So being able to change the narrative, considering what I see every other day on social media, on TV, in our environment, there's a lot happening. So being able to express that is already a tool for me. So I can actually express things considering how I construct my stories through the melodies, through my songs. So that's how I actually express. So I would say it's easier for me than most.
Yeah, because the art is within you. Yes, thank you very much for that. Over to you, Peace. Mind over matter. It is abbreviated in short also to speak of moms. But then Mind Over Matter, tell us more about that podcast and what you set out to do when you created the Mind Over Matter podcast.
Thank you for having me again. Sorry I have a flu, but I wouldn't miss this conversation.
Yes.
Yes. So, mind over matter. So, at its heart, it's all about perspective. I have seen how mindset shifts can influence or can empower a narrative, decision making, or how a leader carries themselves. So all that, it came about how we change our mindset can empower who we are and can empower these decisions that we make for ourselves. So what I set this space to be, basically we wanted to create a space to give women voices, leaders, entrepreneurs, mothers, just a place to express themselves and to be real. Not only, we see strong women out here, but we want to see the process. We want to talk about the real stories, the struggle, the pivots, the challenges, and what has made them who they are. So that is what Mind Over Matter podcast is about.
Yeah.
Yes.
And thank you for telling these stories that really resonate with so many people, especially women, and hence why we are privileged to have a whole month to celebrate us. But through your podcast, you've listened to countless stories of women. What patterns do you see in the challenges women are facing now that we are in a new year, 2026?
So with all these voices and stories that I have listened to from incredible women, some of the patterns would say pressure, right? Pressure to be perfect, to do it all and do it perfectly. And truthfully, sometimes you wonder, is it even possible? But all I can say is through these stories, we're amplifying the voices, but also trying to put the conversation around that and to see how women are being given the tools and the resources to help them thrive, more than just the pressure of like, you have to do it all, you have to be perfect, things like that. But also the resilience. This has become this is a pattern, like how women are very resilient through all the challenges they've gone through. They still stand tall and make it happen.
Do, yeah.
So those are the two patterns that I've seen and heard all over and over again. Is the pressure, but also the resilience that comes from it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it must be inspiring hearing all these different stories
It does.
from all the episodes that you've done of the podcast.
Yeah, it's amazing. And funny enough, the power, the stronger the story, the bigger the impact from the story. So the most amount we share the pivots they went through, the challenges. I bet Paradis was on the podcast also, but also her story, what she went through, and she came out with this amazing brand because she was resilient despite everything that she went through.
Yeah.
So that has been a common pattern in the stories that I've been hosting.
Thank you very much. Truly inspiring. Back to you, Paradis. This year's theme calls to accelerate the progress in equality. And why I'm mentioning that, you entered and thrived in a space often perceived as male-oriented or one that is predominantly male. And this is manufacturing, furniture production, and as well as large-scale contracts. Now, what barriers did you have to break as a young woman in this industry? You started the Wood Habitat at just the age of 22. As inspiring as that is, it must have been also challenging in various aspects. So if you could tell us about that.
Yeah, let me share with you a story. I think I've already shared this with you, Peace. I remember when I started with Habitat at 22. So it was a series of events. Some of them were just pure serendipity, like none of those things I could ever have planned. They just happened to me. But in some way, somehow, like you said, Peace, I was always resilient. And like Rukuru said, I was always having fun. Like, so those were the two things. So I was just like, okay, so let's see. But I remember on the second day of having a little classroom, which was our workshop, the first employee that I hired was a man to just help me. He's a craftsman, right? Very experienced. At the time, he had 40 years experience. And he looked at me like, oh, baby, like, what are you thinking of doing? You know, the kind of thing. You know, when somebody looks at you like that,
Pity.
the pity and the compassion and all sorts of questions were probably going on in his mind. And I remember I told him, yeah, so wood habitat model is really heavy onto optimized, modern and ancient craftsmanship and manufacturing, but also heavily reliant on lifestyle, user-oriented customer service. So it's really a lifestyle brand that is also a manufacturing brand.
Yes.
So to switch those two things have been intense, but you can only do it as a woman.
Yeah.
I honestly, yeah. You could only do those things, those
Yes.
two things very, I would say, not perfectly, but really well for 10 years, not for 1 year, not for 2, but 10 years, even for the next 70 years when you're a woman. So the challenge to me has been, of course, not only being a woman, but being very young. So I remember it's only now that I have a couple of people, I mean, I have about 4 or 5 people in the company who are my age mate, or we're in the same age category. But it's always been that everyone at Wood Habitat has always been older than me, you know, and 90% of them has been men. But then I became really intentional of dividing tasks and understanding who does well at what. And then that's when I decided that the management would be only carried by women, for me to really balance the equality, because also the managerial decisions, the lifestyle, the soul and the essence of the brand is feminine, is nurturing, is life-giving, that can only be translated or easily communicated by women. But also the engine, this is also where my, Peace knows this, where my respect for both male and women comes in play. The engine of all that in the workshop, in the production, in the manufacturing, being male. So yeah, that has been how I perceive that. And to me, one of the greatest realization or revelation to empowering a woman like me, first of all, is through a lot of respect to women. Second is a lot of love and support. But third is empowering the man.
Yeah.
Because somehow, somewhere, all of us women were connected to brothers, to fathers, to husbands, to sons. And these are the most intricate relationships we have. And if you really want a woman to thrive, you will make her men thrive. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll tell you another story. So at Wood Habitat, we started a policy that now about 80% of our team is male, but we really started to prompt and empower their relationships with their wives, or with the women in their lives, with their daughters, with their, to just prompt it. But, oh my God, Martina, if you see the empowerment that comes out of that, from their families, from their mothers, from their wives, from their daughters, it's incredible. It's even higher than us women who are directly affected or empowered per se. Yeah.
Well, it's truly interesting to hear all that. It's basically like a domino effect. You started something, and then you were empowered, and you saw the niche that was there, and also what was lacking, and then you created opportunities for other young women like you, and also even the men, not leaving them out, which is not what this month is about, not leaving them out, but also just having equal opportunities, and then also now empowering the women in their lives. It's truly a beautiful thing to listen to and experience. Yes. Yeah. Now, Rukuru, you describe yourself as an up-and-coming artist, but you are there, sweetheart. You are there.
I'm not coming anymore.
You're not coming. You have arrived. So here,
Just landed.
Yes, your music resonates with people across all sectors, across all boards, and it's quite intriguing to see the representation that you portray as a Rwandan artist. Now, women or young girls out there who haven't yet joined the industry and are having that thought, but are still scared because we are empowered, but there's still a lot more to do in various industries. Now, you can also imagine in the music industry. How did you realize, or if in a way of inspiring them, why didn't that stop you from achieving or entering this industry that you are truly doing so well in?
Thanks.
You are.
Thank you. God, I think everybody has got their own stories, and years back, I'm pretty sure women that were in this industry were like, I cannot do this, I can never tell my child to do this, I can never advise anybody, my worst enemy to join this, especially as a woman, because there are challenges that men meet, but there are challenges that women meet, and unfortunately, most of our challenges are life-blocking. You know, if, for example, the women that would be asked for favors, sexual favors, for them to be put on such and such platforms, I'm sure that some of them eventually had to give birth and have to stop their careers to, you know, and we hear these stories over and over and over again. And for me, it was even scarier because, you know, when you're coming from a family that has a soldier in the family, there's no way. There's no way you're going to do music as a career. It's kind of scary. And even myself, I understood the risks that were involved. But then, there's passion. You know, art has something to do with passion, and for some reason it just pushes you every other day. Whatever you're doing, studies, work, it pushes you to do something that nobody else would dare to do, and that's for me my number one push. I had a passion, but also having a vision. There's having a passion, but there's also having a direction for that passion. That is what makes you stand out, and that is what makes you stay grounded. And for everybody that is out there listening to me, I'm not telling you rebel. Tell your parents, you know what, I'm actually doing this. You know, I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you, revise and weigh your options. If you think that this will work for you, please, by all means, go forth, but stay grounded. Let nobody, because when you do not know the direction you're going to, every other person, because when you're gifted, will see your light, and they'll direct you to their thought of direction, because that's what they think is better for you. But it's them, it's not you. So when you already have a vision for your career, it's easier to stay grounded. I'm pretty sure there are things I could not do, even in my younger age, because I was like, there's a vision I have for my music. There's a way I want to be standing on stage and be perceived as. There are dreams I want to achieve. Whatever it takes, however much time it's gonna take, I'm gonna stay grounded.
Yes.
And it keeps me going. It's scary. It takes time. Sometimes time takes its time.
I know.
It takes a lot of patience. And for me, as a woman of faith, it takes a lot of prayer as well. So every chance I get, I pray, I'm like, God, please guide me. If I forget, lead me back to the way. But it's always good to stay grounded and having a vision. It's scary, but it's possible. It's not impossible, for sure. I can encourage you. It's not impossible. But there are terms and conditions apply.
And we've just provided like a glimpse into those terms and conditions. But also one thing I've realized is that the things that are scary are most often the worthy ones. So it has to shake you up in your boots a bit to be even more rewarding as you go through it or as you reach the end goal. But I believe we're always we never really reach there because we're always inspiring, we're always trying to be better, do better. So thank you very much for that.
Okay.
Yes,
also, it doesn't scare you.
It does. It's not worth it.
It's not,
yes.
it's not big enough.
It's not big enough. Thank you very much. If it doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. Thank you for that reminder. Now, please, motherhood and leadership are always or most often pinned against each other. Sometimes they tell you you can only do the motherhood thing, and you're not going to work, you can only do the leadership thing. You won't be able to raise your kids in a way that you want to. No shame or no shade to those who choose one or the other deliberately, if it's what they choose to. But when society is telling you what to do, that's where we believe it's not right. So how do you redefine that narrative of where motherhood and leadership are often placed in competition?
Oh, that's a deep one. Listen, so I feel like motherhood and leadership complement each other. And the narrative is shifting. Really, also shout out to Rwanda for representing that. We can see in different places, the private and the public sector, most leaders are mothers. So that shows that it's a real representation of this narrative is actually shifting. It's no longer what we see out there. But also, let me tell you, motherhood will teach you what leadership courses won't teach you. Empathy. Leadership with empathy, it is something to be proud of, right? Patience, come on, again, double T's. So trust me, but also motherhood just, how can I say this? I get so passionate about when it comes to motherhood. You all know this. I feel like I breathe and talk motherhood all the time. But to answer your question, I feel like motherhood deepens leadership, and that is something to be proud of. And instead of the question being, is it a competition, can there be a question of what systems are we putting in place to help these mothers thrive? Because let me tell you, they're doing an amazing job as leaders, because she'll leave that boardroom and go to pick her child from school at 4 p.m. and she'll do it effortlessly. Well, to look like it effortlessly. You know what I mean? But also motherhood gives you courage. It gives you, for me, my purpose began when I became a mother. Before that, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just cruising through life. Opportunity comes, but it redirects you. It gives you a different vision. It gives you purpose in life. I mean, I could go on and on, but I feel like those two things should never even be put as a competition, but as a complement to each other. And again, I end by repeating myself. The question should be, what systems can be put in place to strengthen that, to help women thrive, equity, instead of are they both in competition, because that is not the way we should be going.
100%.
Yes.
And how could you maybe describe the progression in terms of this narrative being broken? You did say we're doing better in terms of women understanding that they can have both if they want to. They can be able to inspire those who are looking to go through that path. Is the progression inspiring in terms of breaking that narrative?
Absolutely, it is, and that is changing. That is really changing, and I'll take it back to the space that we have created, Mind Over Matter. We talk about this. I do talk to women leaders. This is a living example, and I bet you being a mother has made you who you are. It has made your vision bigger than it was before. And no, let me do one better. It is the reason
I started.
She started a business. So it is changing. Things are getting better. We just have to amplify these voices, talk about it, because policies are being made. But it's through conversations that things are changing and being better.
Thank you very much for that. Very great to hear these different perspectives. Paradis, you spoke on how through you being creative, you were able to distinguish yourself from the other creators, mostly men, who had the same thing going on, but through your creativity, you found where you stood out. Now, if I could ask, and you could shed more light on how creativity can become a tool for women's economic empowerment, rather than just using it as artistic expression.
Ooh. That's when I can't stop talking. Oh my God, help me. Oh my God. So I grew up in a very modest family with a stay-at-home mom, talking about moms, like many of us. And one of the things that I learned from my mom, she was such a homemaker. So since I'm the firstborn daughter, I was her assistant homemaker. I will always make sure the laundry is done, the linen is folded, the fruits, the vegetables are stocked, like bought on time. My siblings are showering properly, all those things. So what that thing gave me, and plus she did embroidery, so it really started to activate my creativity and my artistic eye, my artistic direction. So one thing that I noticed now in my career, where I have, I would even call it a global perspective of art and creativity, I started to understand the power, especially when you talk about the future, of creativity and art in economic empowerment. I don't know if you've seen across my podcast or any other social media, my social media platforms. I'm a big advocate for economic empowerment because that's one, to me, that's one of the most powerful tools to empower a woman or a family or a people. You know, because I do believe that when people are not under an economic bondage, they really can thrive and build better systems, build better politics, because they're not in survival. They're not worrying
not
about
in survival mode.
Voila, they are thriving, so the country will thrive, the systems will thrive, the relationships will thrive. So going back to creativity, let me share this with you as a story. I remember when I started early in my career, I was traveling in a certain country abroad. And I went to this workshop. It was a furniture design workshop. So there's just a difference between mass producing 5,000 chairs and then creating a high quality design oriented furniture. And one thing that really stood out for me, this company has been around for the last 500 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And now when you look at companies that are, and I do respect companies that are onto mass production or they are manufacturing oriented, because I do believe they really, like Industrial Revolution, all these things brought us where we are right now. Now I do believe that the next phase, we don't need another Industrial Revolution. We need more creativity and more expression and more identity, which is also why I love Vukuru so much and her expression and her voice, because it's really rooted in identity. So to me, I do, like, the reason why Wood Habitat is where it is not because we have the biggest back loans, which we don't. It's not because we have the grants, which we don't. It's not because we have another type of funding that comes from my family, which we don't. It's really growth that is attracted by demand in the market, because the market will always resonate with their deepest needs and demand and what they want. People want what they want, and everybody wants nice things, beauty, dignity.
We do.
So it's only how we communicate that. It's that. So that's, to me, creativity and art is really, to me, the, comment on appelle, crème de la crème when it comes to economic empowerment. Yeah.
And thank you for being a representation of that. I'm sure so many young females, women all over learn that from you, and so these stories do truly inspire. So thank you for that. Vukuru, through your music, which is centered around tradition and soul, a mixture of both, very melodious, very beautiful. One would ask, how do you balance cultural expectations of women with modern expressions of independence? Because we are a country that is putting forth women empowerment, but we also have culture, which we don't ignore. And there's a constant battle between trying to define it in a way that is expressive, but also respectful. How do you go about that?
Okay, that's a great question. Well, balance, like you just say, balance is a very important aspect of creativity, because it makes you relate
True.
to be relative to most people, you know, to your audience, because when we're singing, we're not only singing for ourselves, we're singing to our mothers, we're singing for our sisters, we're singing for young and old and, you know, horizontal relationships. So when you know, I feel like that's where the math is, and where the, you know, the secret is to making it is making sure that once your song, if your song, your project is out there, whoever will be able to hear it will relate to it and will get the message that you wanted to give. Sometimes perspective dies in you know, in the ear of whoever is going to be listening. Well, balancing the modern and the old, it can quite be difficult because, you know, I am of this generation. I do not know what happened. I can only learn about my history and be intentional about it, because there's, when you're trying to sing some words to be cute, to be beautiful, and there's actually some things that you sing and a person can actually see this is your story, this is not, and that's what makes them relate to you.
Yes.
So the only thing you can do as an artist, do your homework. For me, I try to, I'm not sure if I always excel at that, but it's being able to know where you're, if you know that this is your breadwinner kind of thing, you need to be really intentional about it. So document yourself, document, if you're going to sing in Kinyarwanda, let it be the actual Kinyarwanda.
Yes.
The right Kinyarwanda. If it's an English song, let it be,
Proper English.
yeah. But if it's a story that you're going to tell, do it in a creative way that's going to make people relate to you, but also hear the right story, because it's always very important. So it's always important to know your homework. Do your homework, and then you'll be able to balance whatever comes out. There's what you get, there's the information that you consume, and there's the information that you're going to let out. Especially now that artists are career of most of our culture, you know, because we didn't have so much of the written content. We had so much in the spoken and the singable, melodic English, guys.
No, it's not our first language.
It's not so, like there was so much hidden in our songs. So we are carriers of the culture and traditions and the inheritance of our culture inheritance. So it's very important for us to get the information correct. So that we'll be able to, you know, therefore inherit it to our kids. So, well, I do my homework. That's going back to the question. I do my homework, I learn things, and then I'll be able to express it in a language that my generation understands. But by keeping true to myself, my color, I would keep on talking.
No, that is very important, and it's very evident through your music that you do your homework and you help the youth learn about their culture and these wordings and umucho, but in a manner that is actually factual and correct. So thank you for that. Peace, you are a storyteller.
Yes.
And you do this through Mind Over Matter, and we have seen that through the various podcasts that are on your platforms. What role does storytelling play in women's empowerment?
Storytelling is everything. I mean, we can just dance around that, but storytelling is everything. The last question I ended by saying that policies are being made, but it's through amplifying voices and having conversations around whatever is happening that can empower women. But also through these stories, it gives permission to a young lady out there to also say, I can do it despite the challenges, despite the setbacks, but it's through relatability and vulnerability from the stories that we tell. So for example, we will see a woman in high power, right? Unless we know the the process she went through to get where she is, it's hard for her to inspire and empower a young girl who doesn't know what it took for her to get there. So it's through the stories that we're telling, through the voices, the spaces that we're giving, the homes to these voices that we're giving, that can only reach far to this young girl, to the next generation, to build more impact. It's through these stories that someone will reach out and say, hey, I have been given permission, and I know despite where I am, I can make it too. I can sit on that board. I can create a table I can redesign a table through this person's story. So storytelling is everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that. Now, I'm so sad that we are drawing to the end of the show. I'm going to petition for a part 2 sometime in the future, but this is more of like the last question. I'll start with you, Paradis. What does true empowerment for women look like, not just on March 8th, but as an everyday lifestyle?
Wow. We need part 2.
We do. Yeah.
If I can start with myself, and a letter I would write to myself as an empowerment letter, and the letter I would write to Peace, to Bukuru, to you, Martina. First of all is to really recognize the privilege and the honor that God has given us to be women. It's like every morning that I wake up and I remember, I know that I'm a woman. I'm like, thank you, God. Like, thank you so much. You know, you gave me the biggest treasure in life to co-create, to nurture, to be a woman. So that's one. The second is really a lot of empathy and a lot of forgiveness for the things that were not, the expectations that are not met, for everything in between, expectations, dreams, journeys. I would really always empower that woman through forgiveness. The third, I would always make sure her body, her soul, in terms of her intellect, her mind, her emotions, her choices are coming from a place of thriving and knowing who she is as a treasure. I always say women are treasure boxes for God, you know. And the last would be to empower, which is where my career comes in with Habitat, her space. To empower her through her space, through her body, her environment, an environment that constantly nurtures her and reminds her of who she is and the role she plays. Yeah, so to me, empowerment to a woman means from self, that realization, constant forgiveness and constant gratitude, but also being surrounded by the right people, the right music, the right podcast, the right shows, the right food, the input that we allow into ourselves. But now I will take it to another level, which is beyond economic empowerment. Looking in the eyes of that woman and ask her what are the matters of her heart, especially when it comes to relationships. And again, that will take me back to the drawing board and empower a man.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much. Peace, in a few words, what would you like to say to women out there as we celebrate International Women's Day?
Happy. Wait.
What? Happy Women's Day.
Happy Women's Day or
Month.
International Month.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, but these are my parting words, right? As we sit here, I just want to talk to a young girl out there. She's the next generation. She's what we do. As a mother, I always think of my daughter, the world that she's coming in. What are the policies? What are the systems that have been placed to help her not only survive but also thrive again? So I would say participate, contribute as a woman out there. your voice matters, your story matters, and your story will build the next generation.
Yes.
Yeah, so happy Women's Day.
Thank you very much, please. Bukuru, why I wanted to end with you before I'll give my outro. You have a beautiful song, Umwari, which you released a video to a few days ago. Briefly, in a few words, explain what that song is, and then as we conclude, we'll listen to it.
Thank you so much. Well, Umwari is a love letter from the parents who got to know about their incoming birth. That they learned that they're going to give birth, and then this is the love letter. As she was born, as she grew up in their eyes, and as she actually became an adult and was leaving the house to go to work. It was a personal message from parents. For me, I actually understood, I was like, if I had to be given a letter, this is what I would want to be told.
Yes.
And for me, it inspired a whole song.
A whole beautiful song.
Yeah. And I hope to every girl who listens to it, they feel loved and appreciated and celebrated. And from the parents that actually are giving birth to little girls, daughters of the earth, I hope they feel seen.
Yeah,
yes.
Thank you very much. Happy International Women's Day to each and every one of you, Fahadi, Bukuru, and Peace. Thank you for joining the conversation. And to all the viewers out there, the ladies, the women, the young girls, you matter, your voices matter, and such stories are why we have them, for you to be inspired.